going on, play? I'd like to start by saying there is no definition of normal. Normal is a matter of opinion and perception. There is no such thing as normal because everybody has their views on what normal should be. What's accepted by a majority of people is known as the societal norm. And yes, I'm using big words and I don't wear glasses. When you have a society that runs on certain opinions similarly or synonymously, then you turn out to something that's widely accepted as normal. But that doesn't mean that it is what normal is. It just means that numerous amounts of people agree on it. But to answer your question, no, there's no such thing as normal. There really is no such thing as normal because everybody thinks differently. No two minds think alike, but a lot of people can agree on one thing. As for you being stereotyped, I do understand that completely. I mean, shit, look at me, dude. I'm wearing a fucking black hoodie and a do-rag. First thing somebody would say to me if I walk into a convenience store is, are you gonna buy something? I mean, shit. And if they're not saying it with their mouths, they're saying it with their eyes. Occasionally I might get followed to make sure I don't shoplift or steal something. And that right within itself is stereotyping. But I mean, because people have an idealistic sense of view, they seem to categorize certain things and hold them against anybody who is similar to it because their own views as a group or a society transfers over to other people. One group of specific people would, classify themselves as one thing, and if they see someone of another specific group of people do something, they classify any individuals as being within that group, which is where the profiling comes from. It's like, saying a dude that wears all black probably wears a ski mask because it's cold outside. He might be getting ready to rob somebody, and that's just a matter of opinion, which brings it back to the societal norm. In essence, there really is nothing we could do about that shit. There's always going to be stereotyping. There's always going to be people popping lip about some motherfucker who, looks the part of something, and there's always going to be complaining. Nobody is really, you can't really say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. I mean, one way or another, we live in a fucking quote-unquote free country. We live in America. Niggas can say whatever the hell they want. But I mean, don't let that shit get to you. You know who the hell you are, and you shouldn't let other people talk shit about you and let it get to you, because when you let it get to you, that's how the motherfuckers win. Me personally, I can tell you right now, I don't consider myself African American. I consider myself black. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself black because think about it this way. There's other people that's from Africa, like just Caucasian motherfuckers, live in Africa their whole life. They come to America, get their citizenship. What does it say on their card? African American, male or female. And because of society and societal norms, let's say there's no description because somehow the guy who was getting robbed at the store in the example I'm about to put on you, he got robbed and somehow they found out his information or her information. African American male. Who's the first person they're gonna look for? Not a white dude. So I mean, that shit is kind of obsolete. And at the same time, black is obsolete either. I mean, it's obsolete as well because, you might say that there's a whole bunch of wiggers in your neighborhood. There's wiggers at school, wigger this, wigger that. Somebody who tries to act black. How the fuck can you act like a color? On some serious shit. If you're gonna act black, you're just gonna sit there and ain't nobody gonna see your ass in the dark. That's about the only thing I could think of when somebody tries, where they say they act black. There's no such thing as that shit. You can act ghetto. You can act like you're from the projects. You can act preppy. But you cannot act a fucking color. There's no such thing as that shit. And I guess I'm gonna, basically stop the video at that because all I was trying to do was answer a question. And the answer to the question is there's no such thing as normal, because everybody has their own opinion. Since a lot of people do not have the same opinion, you cannot say that there is a such thing as normal. Plain and simple. I hope that answers your question.